Today has been Yom HaShoah, the day of the catastrophe, the observance in which Jews are charged with remembering the Holocaust. Yom HaShoah, however, is the anniversary in the Hebrew calendar of the Warsaw Ghetto Uprising in April 1943, when a tiny remnant remaining in Warsaw after mass deportations to the death camp of Treblinka determined to resist the Nazis with force.
Well, we're here with Keith Schlegel, and he was giving a wonderful lecture here in the Flagler Room, which was Patterns of Resisting Anti-Semitism, the Inquisition, and the Shoah.
To the Shoah.
To the Shoah. And so my question to you, Doctor, is number one is, what is the Inquisition? What period of time was the Inquisition?
The Inquisition itself lasted from the 13th century to the 20th century.
Wow.
But I think what most people associate with that term is the Spanish Inquisition led by Torquemada,
Right.
Grand Inquisitor, and the tortures and
I think Name of the
auto
Rose
da
was a
fes.
movie where they showed that. Yeah,
That was-
him torturing and stuff. Yeah, with Sean Connery. Yeah.
And Mel Brooks, don't forget
Yeah.
Mel Brooks. History of the World, Part 1,
of the
there's an
World,
ad.
Yeah.
Jews resisting anti-Semitism had hitherto disavowed violence in favor of other time-tested means of survival. Jews recreated themselves by responding to the hostile environments in which they lived for nearly 2,000 years.
And when we talk about the Shoah, what period of time are we talking about?
That's a question that I've gotten several, more than once. Literally, the Shoah begins with the rise of Nazism in Germany. So, 1933 to 1945. But there are other dates within that period that are of particular importance. For example, the establishment of the plan to exterminate the Jews in mass in specialized killing centers in Poland begins. We know the exact date that begins, and we have Adolf Eichmann took minutes from that meeting, and that was January 1942.
Is that what they refer to, the final solution? People talk about
yes. I think the term had been played with before, but it was, if you will, applied when the efforts to expel Jews, to drive them out, or to, as I mentioned, for religious anti-Semites to convert them, when none of those earlier methods were successful in eliminating Jews from that culture, then the final solution was envisioned.
Yeah, it's very interesting how you say, to keep them away, to convert them, and not to live with Jews, and then Jews can't live, And that's,
that was Raoul Hilberg's.
You're right.
I wouldn't want to.
Him. Yes, you quoted him. Yes, that is correct.
Christians were first seen as belonging to a Jewish sect, and Jesus was seen as a Jewish prophet. Isolation, expulsion, annihilation, the last and final solution.
So here's my last question: is when someone gives a lecture, there's usually a goal that you have of that one thing that you want that audience to understand by the end of your lecture. What would you think was your goal here for them to understand?
I guess I'd say that I hope members of the audience came away with a deeper understanding of the behavior of Jews during the Shoah, because I think there's a tendency to blame the victim, to ask why Jews didn't resist with violence, why they didn't arm themselves, why they didn't leave. And these have very clear and historical answers, but they're frequently not given. And so it's to open up not to the understanding of the perpetrators, but to understand better the behavior of the victims. and not to blame them for being victims.
Right, right. Almost the
Essentially.
same thing when there's a victim of something else. Yeah.
Right.
Right.
Don't blame the woman because she dressed provocatively and then, you know.
It's crazy.
Right, it is crazy. That's a good
whack.
word for it,
Okay.
isn't it?
Well, I thank you.
Okay.
And it was,
Jorge,
it
a
was great
pleasure.
to sit in that lecture. I learned a lot. I really did. I'm a big history buff, and I still learned a lot, and I loved it. Thank you.
Thank you.
History of the Jews.